In this video I'm going to discuss how to add and remove columns within Wireshark. This is going to be critical if you want to master this tool and will really help improve your packet analysis. So let's get to it. By default, the summary view with the default columns is pretty basic and certainly doesn't include all the information you are going to need. Maybe for your analysis you want to view additional columns for additional information to make your workflow easier. There's a few ways to do this and it's pretty straightforward. In Windows you go to Edit and then Preferences. This is where you pretty much configure everything within Wireshark. On the Mac it's I believe it's in the Wireshark menu on the left. And then within here you would click Columns. So here you can see the 7 columns we already have by default, and to add or remove columns you simply select the plus or minus buttons at the bottom. So the first columns I think we should all add are source and destination ports. I think these are very important when troubleshooting any TCP or UDP flows, and at the end of the day this is what you're going to be doing most of the time. So to add a new column, click the add sign and you'll see it appear at the bottom. It's just called new column by default, but we're going to change that to source port. For the type of column we're going to use custom. We want to use a display filter, and for the display filter we're going to say udp.sourceport or tcp.sourceport, and then we're going to add another column, destination port, exactly the same type, and then within here we're going to say udp.destination port or tcp.destination port. You can see them there, and then what we want to do is move the source port by dragging up to where it says, to put it next to source because it makes sense, and then we'll put the destination port after destination. The next really useful column I'd like to use when troubleshooting network and application delay is the delta time column. This shows the amount of time between the displayed packets, so when you start seeing large delta time values you can highlight something which may be of interest. So let's add a new one, call it delta time, and the type is going to be delta time displayed. And now I'm going to drag this up so it's actually next to time, because that's the most logical place to put it and it makes it easier and clearer to see. So once we click OK, you can now see the new columns have been added and we have much more information. We can see the delta time, and essentially this is showing the difference between the previous packet and the current packet. So how else can we add columns in Wireshark? Well, one other way is within the packet itself. Now another great column when doing your analysis is the TTL field, or time to live. This is the number of hops that this packet will traverse before a router will drop it. This value gets decremented every time it hits another layer 3 hop within the path, and this gives you a good idea of how far away a device is and at what point in the path was this packet captured. You can literally just hold the left click over a value, in this case we're going to do the TTL time to live value, hold the left click and drag it up and then release it at the top. If you no longer want to see a particular column, just right click it and then click remove this column. You can also right click a column and then you've got all the options that are actually within your columns, and then you can just deselect one that you no longer want to see, maybe temporarily you want to retrieve it later, so just click destination port and it disappears. So that was just a quick video on adding and removing columns within Wireshark, and definitely something you should play around with to find out what works for you. Thanks for watching guys, I hope this was informative and I'll see you in the next one.